Bonjour à tous and welcome back to the French Cooking Academy. My name is Stéphane. Before I start, I'd like to say thank you to all the new subscribers. It's been amazing. You've been so many to subscribe to the channel. So thank you very much. Today, we're going to be looking or talking about salad. And as a demonstration, I'm going to show you how to make a classic bistro potato salad. But that's not all what we're going to cover today. We're going to learn how to use salad in French cooking, what are the best cuts to cut the potatoes and the other ingredients for a good looking salad. And thirdly, we're going to learn how to use these things, the food rings or food stackers. And this is the secret weapon for all the chefs to make these beautiful looking starters on your plate. And you can do this even at home. Now, let's talk about salad in the world of French cooking. Now, as you may imagine, like everything French cooking, there is never something that is really straightforward, and there is no exception as well with salads. It's an amazing array of salad that we have. The most basic salad is the green salad, the lettuce type of salad with just the leaves. Next on the scale, you're going to have the single vegetable salad, like a tomato salad or a cucumber salad. After that, we've got the one we're going to see today, which is the salad composé. It means the composed salad. So what does that mean really? Well, basically the salad composé is anytime you take multiple ingredients, you're going to chop together, and you're going to mix them at the end with a sauce, a dressing, a mayonnaise, or anything like that. And this is exactly what we're going to do today. The recipe today is the salad Piémontaise. It's a simple bistro-style salad that you can also buy in that shop that we've seen last week, in that charcutier traiteur. The composition is very simple. It is a potato-based salad. So we're going to have potatoes, ham, ripe tomatoes, hard-boiled eggs, and gherkins. You're going to pre-cut everything, and then we've got all of your ingredients. We're going to make a homemade mayonnaise, mix everything together, and then dress up the salad. But the one problem I always have with potato salad is that once you've made them and you serve them on the table, in a bowl or anything like that, it just looks like that big pile of mash that doesn't look like anything. And it's really not really appealing. And this is why today I wanted to introduce these things here, the food stacker, because this is what you can use to transform the look of your salad when you have guests at your home. And these food stackers of different size, I'll put a link in the video description, they're super useful because you put them on your plate like that, and you can add in there layers of whatever you like. And so you can have a nice and neat looking salad on a plate. And this is what we're going to see in this exercise today. And now let's start this recipe. Now, the one thing to keep in mind when you make a salad, or the successful recipe to make a salad, you need to have your food preparation. I know I keep on saying that for other preparations, but salads, it's absolutely vital that you have everything ready, cut, prepared, chopped, because it's just an assembly game. It's not a cooking type of thing, salad. There's no real cooking involved. It's more of an assembly with things that works well together. So I went ahead and did some things beforehand. I've boiled some eggs. I've got a video on this for the cooking time for the eggs. I've made a homemade mayonnaise, as you can see here. I also got a video. I'll put all the links in the video description. I've chopped some curly parsley because it's more tidy. I've got my gherkins, I've got my ham, I've peeled also my tomatoes. I also have a link on that on how to do this. And I've peeled my potatoes, yellow flesh potatoes, and I've reserved them in cold water. Now, the reason why I started to do all these things, because I just want to concentrate on the types of cuts we're going to be using for the tomatoes, the ham, and the potatoes, because they're going to be the same, and that's going to be the key element to salads. We're going to start with the potatoes because this is the only thing that has to cook. So I took them out of the water and I use a little towel like this. You need to make sure they're dry when you work with potato, otherwise it's going to be slippery. And so we're going to try to make cubes basically. And this is the way it's kind of done in the kitchen. I know there will be some offcuts. Some people will start to say, oh my god, what you do with the offcuts? Well, you use them in soups, in other preparation, in mashes. Of course, at home is not the best thing. First thing we're going to have to do is try to make a kind of a big squarish type of potato. Okay, so you turn all the sides, and this is to allow us to work and cut slices. So as you can see here, you've got something squarish and stable. And now let's cut the slices. So because we're using this thing today, or the other one, like fruit stackers, we don't want too large pieces because we need to feel that it needs to be nice and tidy. So I'm going to go ahead and do like maybe a centimeter kind of wide slices, maybe a quarter of an inch, a bit more like that. It doesn't have to be super precise, but try to do your best to get something that is decently looking. So some decent slices like that. Next, once you've got your slices, I'm just taking 2 slices to show you. You can put a bigger stack, but you need more practice. Same thing. You're gonna go ahead and do that same kind of thing and try to aim for that same size, and that's gonna give you what we call the bâtonnet, this kind of fries like. Then you just turn the whole thing. If you want, you can trim off to make more square, but we're not gonna bother with that. And then same thing. You just try to repeat the process on having the same kind of size and to roughly basically try to have some kind of cube-like shape. And this is what we're gonna be cutting. So you do all the potatoes like that, and then when they're done, you're gonna reserve them in that cold water. For the ham, same thing. You're gonna cut again small cubes that are roughly the same size as a potato, and then reserve that in a clean container. And now for the tomato. So little word of warning here when using tomato in that salad. It is vital that you remove all of the seeds inside and all of the extra juice. If you don't do that and you attempt to cut the tomato just like that and throw it in the mix with the mayonnaise, your mayonnaise is going to transform into a liquid sauce. And none of your ingredients are going to stick together, and when you serve that salad, it's going to be like a soup. So really be careful. You don't want to ruin your salad because of the tomato. So we're going to cut it in half, remove the seeds, and then chop it in cubes. Alright, so very simple. We take the tomato, we're going to just cut it there, and you can see inside all this extra juice. We're going to have to get rid of that. Just to show you, take a little bowl here, so you can either press with your hands like that, that's what people do to extract, but I like to get a spoon and really get rid of all of the stuff and as much juice as I can. So you're going to do that for every single tomato and really press them like that to make sure there's no juice left. Now this is what's left of my tomato. I bought them, they were way too ripe because it's not the season at all in Australia here, but it does not matter. It's not about always being perfect, it's about using the right techniques. So what do you do with these things? Well, basically you're just gonna cut it in the middle and you're still gonna try to make some kind of cube-like shape. So same things, and then you reserve that for your salad in a separate container. Gherkins, very easy. Get rid of the end bits on either side, just a tiny bit like that. And then same thing, you try to imagine of these squares, so I'm going to maybe chop them in half like that, and then good size. And that's it. It's not squares, but the size is approximately the same as the rest. Now for the eggs, usually you can dice them the same way as all the other ingredients, but because we're using a food stacker, today I'm going to use one of these tools, the egg slicer. This is a very bad example. I didn't have one, I just bought one in a $1 shop. Made of plastic, it's absolutely terrible. Look at that. Don't know how long it's going to last, but I'll put a link in the video description for a good one. So yeah, slice the eggs, so you just put it over, make sure it's whole there, and in one go, boom, we got our slices. And that's it. Finally, we have our 5 ingredients ready. The only thing left to do now is to cook the potato and assemble our salad. Now, cooking the potatoes, very quick reminder, always start your potatoes in cold water. That is absolutely super important. The reason for that is that if you don't do that and you start in hot water, and they're going to be overcooked on the outside and not cooked enough on the inside. So always cold water. Put your heat on and you just use a decent amount of rock salt. And we're just going to leave this to cook. I think it's going to take like 15 minutes. I don't have the exact time. I'll just tell you at the end when it's ready, when we're going to try them. Keep an eye on them to make sure they don't overcook. All done. So basically, I've waited until the boil came back after I put the potatoes in. When the boil started, I counted exactly 15 minutes. And now it's cooked. So when you want to know when it's cooked, you want to just be able to, with your hand, almost crush the potato like that. So the next things I'm going to do, I'm going to immediately rinse those in a sieve under cold water to stop the cooking. And now for the assembly. So keep in mind that, you know, we took a very long time to show all the ingredients, but the bistro style version of that recipe will use chunkier pieces, like larger pieces of everything, and it will be ready in 5 minutes. And you will just have all the ingredients at hand and you'll mix that very quickly. So take a big bowl. I start to put all of my potatoes, and it's just a matter of adding enough of everything. So I got some ham. And I'm gonna start by this with some of the gherkin, a little bit of parsley, and try to mix together before I'm adding the mayonnaise. So you blend, and you want to make sure there's an even mixture of things. So I think absolutely enough for the ham. And I'm gonna wait for the tomatoes. So you add all of your mayonnaise. Once the mayonnaise is in, and this is where you're gonna gently incorporate it. So try to be gentle, take your time, and keep on mixing. Once you've done with the base ingredient, it is time to add the tomatoes to add a bit of color. But like I said, you have to be very careful with the tomatoes. So I'll just add a little bit, maybe half of it. Start blending in and see how we go. Still not liquid, I can add the rest. Fantastic. So as you can see, the whole mix did not transform into a soup. Even though it starts to be a bit liquid, so I'm gonna try. Enough salt, but for my taste, and to warrant a little bit more of black pepper. My salad is now seasoned perfectly, and the last ingredient missing is the egg. So usually at this stage you add your diced or cubes of eggs in there, mix the whole lot, and it's ready to eat. But because we're going to be using a food stacker, I'm going to show you how to use a food stacker, and I'm going to put layers of eggs in the middle, so see what we can come up with on the plate. Now let's try to use these food stackers. Now food stackers are these things. They're the big trend in town and cafes and things, and everybody likes to use different shapes and different. This one is huge, really. It's too big for today, but I think this one might work nicely. So instead of putting the salad like a mold, like a big pile of mash, I'm going to try to use that thing and see how we can go. So the technique is very simple. Basically, you place it in the center of your plate, and you take some of your salad, and you're going to start to fill the inside with some salad. So I'm going to start with one layer. Okay, so now that I've got my first layer of salad, I'm going to use the eggs and use these little half eggs. I'm going to try to go around and make that circle of egg. Alright, my egg is in. Let's add some more salad on the top and then press that down. Finally, this looks nice and full. I'm going to use that little tool here to try to press everything down. A bit of pressure. Okay, the food stacker is totally full, and now comes the big moment of trying to remove that food stacker. I'm going to use that thing and try to press down and pull that up. Disaster can happen because that thing should be bigger. It doesn't take the whole space. I'm just going to do it and see what happens. Hey, it works! Hallelujah! Ooh, look at that. Now let's try to decorate this a little bit. And look, you see the eggs? Got my layer of egg in there. And today's video is coming to an end with that shot of the salad Piémontaise. Two-way, this is the rustic classic style. This is usually how it's served, and this is my take on it, that kind of more gourmet, a bit of plating using a food stacker. And I think food stacker is quite a lot of fun actually. I have to use them more, and this is my little practice run. But if you want to try this salad, honestly, you don't have to make this way. Make it chunky, make it bistro, making your style. It's a delicious salad to try with that mayonnaise, the potato, the gherkin and the ham. It's absolutely lovely. If you make the recipe, don't hesitate to drop me a comment in the comment section, and as always, if you can become a patron on my page, I will really appreciate it. It really helps me make more video. I'll see you all next time for another French cooking recipe. Bye bye, take care.